Hello, Nexus members. Welcome to InHive's video series on virtual facilitation for networks. I am sure you know the backstory to these videos. Brendan here was supposed to conduct a Nexus Learning event on facilitation last week, but the C word happened and the event was canceled. However, no worries, Brendan is well and here with us is quarantining with an unwell partner and a toddler. But we're here today with you.
Actually, my partner is mostly better. Toddler has been full of energy the entire time. But yeah, rather than just canceling, we had the idea that we could maybe create a few videos that illustrate what we would have touched upon in that session. So we thought in each video, Yusra and I, in under 5 minutes, could walk you through some tips around facilitation. And this will be part of what we're trying around kind of a 4-month peer learning series on how to engage your members in a network. And because of that, we won't touch on everything that relates to facilitation because there's way too much, but instead focus on a few things that we've seen as most relevant to help really engage your members through facilitation tools.
Yes. The topic that we've chosen today is around building trust and relationships amongst your network. That is, of course, a very sort of foundational area to focus on. This is important because the key ingredient to networks, of course, having any impact is for people to know each other and feel like they have a connection.
Yeah, and connection, I mean, anybody that works in a network knows it's just so important because you can identify synergies, you can have shared actions, but when you feel like a person is more than just a name and you have a conversation with them that sticks with you, that just opens the doors to everything else. And I think connection is something that we want to do all the time. No matter what kind of space we're having, we should always be building connections between members in our networks. So our first tool today is something from Liberating Structures called impromptu networking. And Yusra knows a lot more about it. So I'm going to ask Yusra to start by telling us maybe a little bit about what kind of situations it can be used in.
Happy to. So impromptu networking is a really handy tool / technique. And the great thing about it is that it can be used in any and all contexts. So whether you're running a working session, a brainstorming session, an introductory team building session, or even a networking event, it's something that can be adapted to all situations. I was actually introduced to it, or rather I took part in this when I had signed up for a course by Liberating Structure on facilitation techniques. And 20-30 of us, of this group of strangers was brought into this room. And then we just started right away with this impromptu networking technique without any other introduction. So it really works really well, even with a group of strangers.
And tell me a little bit more about what you need to make it happen.
Not much at all. It can be adapted to both in-person and virtual settings. If you're having an in-person session, first of all, I'm really happy for you. And second of all, you just need sort of a big open space for this technique to work. And in virtual settings, of course, you can just rely on Zoom and breakout rooms.
Okay, tell us how it works.
Yes, of course. So you start off by asking a question to the group. It can be any question tailored to the context of your session or your group, or a generic one such as, what big challenge do you bring to this gathering? What do you hope to get from and give this group or community? Of course, you can always look online for other ideas and sort of other templates for this question. After you've asked the question, just give a few minutes, of course, but then people are put into pairs. If you're using Zoom, just assign them breakout rooms. If it's an in-person setting, people can sort of walk around and seek out their own partners. In pairs, each person shares their answer for 2 minutes, and both people get a turn. Then after that, the pairs are switched. So breakout rooms are switched and people find new partners if they're together in a space, and the sharing is repeated a second time. And then this goes on, and then the sharing is repeated a third time when people seek out new partners for the third time. How does that sound, Brendan?
I can see why it's useful. I think it allows a lot of people to connect with each other. They can participate, they can engage. You can develop both loose and powerful connections. And I think it can be really interesting and powerful if you're actually embedding storytelling into it as well. So you're not just answering a question, but you're trying to kind of almost find some sort of vulnerable story that speaks a little bit about who you are as a person and helps people kind of make those personal connections.
Yeah, that's really it. Actually, you said it, because it takes us beyond the introductions around what we do and what our titles are, etc., and really allows us to sort of share our stories. And this is also something to think about when you're thinking of that big question to ask the group. Really think about and draw out people's sort of, unique histories and stories. And this is also great because it really allows shy people to also slowly warm up and open up and take part in this. So really, I think it's an all-around winner. This really easy but interesting technique that can be adapted to any and all settings, really.
Yeah, and I think that last piece is important too about the shy people, because we tend to forget that there are people in the room that are just not speaking or not engaging, even if they might want to. And so it's very important to provide the spaces for them to be building connections to and not to be left out. So that's it from Yustada and I, and we hope this is helpful. Obviously, there are so many different tools around connection and relationship building that you can use. So we ask you in the comments to just share what are some of your favorite connection building tools, so we can build a bit of a dialogue around what are the ways that we can build connections with each other in our members, with our members in our networks. We'll be sharing the next video in the series next week. In the meantime, happy facilitating.
Happy facilitating.